I am going to share with you how the scaling challenge and how learning about the scaling helped a group. So this is a group of people coming from 7 countries in Latin America that they work within agencies or protected areas, and they want to increase the outcomes that protected areas deliver. They want to help their protected areas, their systems or protected areas to be effective. And they have been meeting for 10 years, talking about a lot of challenges. So in the first meetings, they were talking about how difficult it is to adapt within the context of a governmental agency. They have been talking about how difficult it is really to implement what you have planned, to make that connection, how difficult it is to monitor what you implement and what you plan, and how difficult it is to adapt, because a lot of reasons behind that. And they have been talking about how difficult it is really to monitor and use that information to make decisions, and how difficult it is to have very nice theories of change with indicators and monitor data about what is happening, what is not happening, and then how difficult it is to report to the global world using that information, because there are a lot of difficulties in that. So a lot of challenges. Within this context of the learning network, the first thing that we did is trying to understand the group. So this is a group that started to work organically with no project. So we revealed the theory of change, trying to understand what is that they are doing. And I'm going to share that with you first before talking about what we learned about the scaling. So this is a self-managed group for innovation, in summary. And as I said, they have a lot of challenges, and they want to talk with someone and try to find solutions to the challenges. So they have this group, and they work well as a group. And with the support that they have between each other, they are able to then keep promoting changes in their systems. And then they want to help to institutionalize the practice of adaptive management and the use of impact-based evaluation, impact-based effectiveness assessments. So when we did that, the first thing was, well, are they really scaling something? What is happening in this group? It's just a learning group. So we learned that, yes, I mean, because of the group, they were able to replicate things in other systems because of the cross-learning thing. And that's the first thing that we learned. We talked a lot about maybe is there another strategic approach about scaling or not, and we learned that there is a scaling enabling condition or scaling enabling approach, which is this collective impact, that it's key when we are talking about scaling. But the other thing is that we also started to learn about the barriers. So why is this group needs to work together? So they have been trying to really influence the prime. So this thing of thinking about the actors, the different actors, it was really useful for us because it helped us to think together with the group what are the difficulties that they are facing to really be able to scale more the things that they want to scale. And in that process, we talked about, okay, so there are, in their theory of change, there are red spots. There are things that they haven't been able to do. They haven't been really able to change some minds, talking about some decision makers, and in order to be able to move forward, they realized that to address all those barriers connected to things about the current practices and to change some cultural things in their organizations, they really need to be more. So there was a question about the need to try to add more countries to the group and to add more countries, maybe be more in Latin America working together doing this. So they would need to bring more people to the group. And that is a mean to try to have more impact in their own systems, but it's also something that is going to help to have an impact in more countries. Because having more people in this kind of public innovation laboratory that they have is going to help them to have an impact in more countries too. So there was this thing of an amine, but also having impact in a wider scope. So when we started to think with them about the scaling, these questions appear and these decisions appear. We need to grow. And the other thing that appeared is that, okay, so there are barriers here that have some drivers behind. So we want the decision makers to adopt these approaches. Why that is not happening? So we identify the barriers. And then we identified secondary actors that were necessary in order to make progress. We identified the donors as secondary actors with some barriers too. And we identified, for example, the other actors acting at a global level as actors that would need to be more close to this process, and actors that they would like to have them also promoting the practices that they were promoting. So they identify these stakeholders and some key things that they would like to have from them, so that, for example, with the support of donors, they would be able to really accelerate the implementation of the agenda of the group in order to have more countries in the group, and so that be able to have an impact at a wider scale. And at the same time, with the involvement with the involvement of other actors, they would have these enabling conditions of having maybe more other actors also promoting the same concepts and practices. So promoting, again, adaptive management and impact-based evaluation approach. What happened is that this reflection led to the incorporation in their own theory of change of new strategies. So we ended up the process with a theory of change with 4 more strategies that are not only the thing that they were already doing, so this thing of having these workshops and this work together to have this change in the practices and the institutionalization in the systems, but because of this awareness of the need of the work together, of the collective impact to be able to have a further impact in the systems and in the other systems too, but because of the awareness of the need to make some changes or to work with other key actors too, they involved new strategies. So this process, and this is the last part, helped to improve the strategy of the group and change from looking at only some moments with key challenges where they decided to meet and have workshops to have a long-term strategy aiming to really address the key barriers that they need to change to be able to really have a better effectiveness of their protected area systems. And I'm not going to go to the details, but I'm just talking in terms of the scaling. And with this, they realized also that is not only the changes that they want to do. This theory of change is trying to make some changes to be able to improve the management in their own region, but also scaling up these 2 key concepts as the use of effective impact-based effectiveness evaluation to global actors. They realized that it's also a possibility of really have an impact in the global world in the terms of spreading these key ideas with a bottom-up approach.